Welcome back, everyone. We're diving right into episode 2 of our 11-part explainer series, breaking down Breeze Dong's incredible book, A Soulful Transition, Finding Heart-Led Career in the Age of AI. Today, we are looking at chapter 2, titled Your Job Title is Not Your Soul. And wow, we're unpacking a question today that is as gentle as it is brutally honest.
So, picture this. You're the global head of innovation. Sounds great, right? But if you get laid off on a random Tuesday, do you just cease to exist? I mean, that hits hard, doesn't it? It's that visceral 3 a.m. fear that wakes you up in a total cold sweat. You know the drill. You start out as a wide-eyed junior analyst. You learn the ropes. You climb to manager, then director, then VP. You put that title in a massive font that just commands respect in your email signature. But what actually happens when that impressive title just vanishes overnight? The real fear here isn't just about losing your income, though that's scary enough. It's the absolute terror that if your job title becomes obsolete, well, maybe you become obsolete.
And honestly, this totally illustrates just how deep that merger goes. I mean, how many times have you been at a dinner party or a networking event and heard someone introduce themselves exactly like this? Hi, I'm the Senior Vice President of Strategic Synergies. They don't start with their actual name or, who they are as a person. They introduce themselves entirely by their corporate function. We've gotten to a point where we don't just have a job anymore, we literally start to believe we are the job. We merge our entire identity with what we do from 9 to 5. And the sad part? Beneath that incredibly impressive title, the actual human being is often quietly struggling, wrestling with the immense weight of tying their whole existence to a single role.
Which pulls us right into what the book calls the trap of never enough. The modern corporate ladder, it kind of feels like that ancient Eastern philosophy concept of beings who have these tiny little mouths but giant, bottomless stomachs, always consuming but never ever full. We feed that hunger with a promotion, and hey, it feels amazing for about 3 days. You get that quick dopamine hit from all those congratulations comments flooding your LinkedIn, but then almost immediately the anxiety creeps right back in. A little voice whispers, okay, this director title is nice, but look at David over there. David is a VP. Are you falling behind? Is an AI algorithm going to replace you before you even get there? It's pure anxiety fueled by attachment. We get so attached to the idea that we are what we do. And in a fast-moving, AI-driven world, that leaves us feeling incredibly fragile. We start buying into the lie that without the fancy title, we're basically just broken machines that need constant software upgrades.
But right here is the turning point. This is the radical paradigm shift from the book NCRW. It stands for Naturally Creative, Resourceful, and Whole. Let that sink in for a second. You are whole. You are not a broken machine. You're definitely not a human resource waiting to be optimized by a spreadsheet or some empty vessel waiting for a corporation to fill you up with purpose. You are a complex, resilient, completely infinite human being. You have wisdom you probably haven't even accessed yet, and a level of creativity that absolutely no AI could ever replicate. And when you finally realize that you are already whole, you stop asking your job to save you. You stop letting your quarterly performance results dictate your self-worth. You just don't need a job title to fix you because there's nothing to fix.
So, to help us safely separate our innate wholeness from the work we do, the book uses this brilliant, super simple metaphor. I love this. Think of your job title as a really heavy winter coat. Now, the coat is highly useful. It keeps you warm, meaning it pays the mortgage. It signals hierarchy, which gives you status and authority in the organization. And it has all these pockets for your tools, holding your specific, hard-earned skills. But here's the massive problem. Most of us are literally sleeping in the coat. We're showering in the coat. We're trying to meditate in the coat. We are walking around our own homes in full winter armor, completely suffocating because we just never take the darn thing off.
The profound bodily truth here is so simple but so important. You are not the coat. Just pause and think about that. When you come home at night, you're supposed to take it off and hang it by the door. Underneath all that heavy fabric, you're a parent, a friend, a gardener, a dreamer. Right now, with AI advancing so fast, we are collectively terrified because we look around and see robots designing better coats. We think, oh no, if the robot makes a better coat, I'm going to disappear. But if you truly realize that you are not the coat, you can look at the AI and just say, oh, the robot can make the coat now. Fantastic. Honestly, it was getting kind of heavy anyway. I'm going to go do the human work.
To actually survive this big career transition we're all going through, we absolutely have to separate what we do from who we are. On one side, we have your functional identity. This is the code. It's things like I write code or I manage budgets. And notice something here. Technology can do a lot of this now, and that's totally okay, because these are just functions. But on the other side, you have your essential identity. This is your soul. This is your wholeness. It's things like, I bring calm to chaos. I connect people. I seek out the truth. No machine can hold space for a grieving coworker. No machine can truly connect people on a human level. When you shift your identity from functional to essential, you become incredibly resilient. Even if your daily function completely changes because the market shifts, your core essence remains wildly, undeniably irreplaceable.
So how do we actually apply this in real life? Well, we have to sit down and consciously design a brand new alliance with our career. It starts by walking away from what the author calls the old agreement, which is entirely fear-based. In the old agreement, your goal is simply to survive and climb the ladder. The promise you make is, I will do whatever it takes, even if it completely destroys my mental health. And the only metric for success is, am I busy? It's a total survival trap. Now compare that to the whole person agreement. Here, your goal is to express your values and actually grow. Your promise is to bring your full creativity to the table, but while strictly honoring your boundaries. And the metric? It shifts beautifully from am I busy to am I resonant? Does this feel right? When you start operating from this conscious, wholeness-based partnership, you stop being a victim to your job and you finally become a true partner to it.
We spend so much of our lives endlessly optimizing our resumes. But let's be real, nobody is going to read your resume at your funeral. Just consider a corporate obituary for a second. Imagine hearing this. Here lies Sarah. She was the global head of Strategic Synergies. She optimized EBITDA by 12% in Q3 2024. She circled back on over 40,000 emails. She died waiting for a promotion to SVP. I mean, wow! It feels so heavy, so cold, and honestly, it's completely absurd, right? If you're feeling a literal heaviness in your chest right now, just thinking about that. Yep, that is the weight of the coat.
Now immediately contrast that nonsense with the true human obituary. Think about this one. Here lies Sarah. She was the one person who actually listened in the Monday morning meeting. She made the new interns feel safe. She had a unique way of cutting through the noise to find the actual truth. She brought absolute warmth to cold places. Just notice the shift in your body right now. There's this undeniable lightness and warmth when we recognize true human essence, because this is what you actually bring to the room when the fancy title is stripped away.
And this contrast brilliantly illustrates what your ultimate career transition strategy needs to be. It all boils down to two words: processing versus presencing. That first super cold corporate obituary, that is processing. That's the work that AI can and definitely will do for us. The second incredibly warm human obituary, that is what you are actually selling to the future job market. It is your presencing work. Look, the market genuinely might not need another VP of optimization right now, but let me tell you, it is absolutely desperate for a real human being who can bring clarity, deep connection, and warmth to a chaotic room. So let the AI do the processing, you do the presencing.
To help you get there, the author introduces this amazing ancient practice of subtraction. It's simply called not this, not that. It's a tool to help you find your truth and, more importantly, create some real distance from your anxiety. So the next time you feel a massive spike of panic about your job, like a bad review or a stressful project, you just pause and use this technique. You say to yourself, I am not this presentation. I am not this budget code. I am not this negative feedback. Doing this creates vital, breathing space. And in that space, you shift from being an overwhelmed identifier, someone who is literally drowning in the problem, to an empowered solver. You detach just enough to realize, hey, I'm safe, regardless of whatever the latest chaotic corporate reorg throws at you.
Okay, let's lock all of this in with some actionable steps straight from the book's workbook. Here is a quick identity detox practice you can try out this week. First up, the name badge visualization. Every morning, I want you to imagine putting your job title on like a physical plastic name badge so you can go get things done. But at the end of the day, mentally take it off and leave it sitting on your desk. Don't bring it home. Second, the whole person check-in. In your next one-on-one meeting, instead of just immediately asking for a project status update, try asking, hey, how are you holding up with all this change? Connect soul to soul instead of just role to role. And third, use the NCRW mantra. When that awful Sunday night dread hits you, just remind yourself out loud, I am naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. Nothing about me is broken. I want to leave you with this final, truly provocative thought for the day. When you strip away the impressive title, the daily function, the messy budget codes, and all the endless corporate fires, if you are not this problem, then who are you? Well, you are the creative, resourceful, whole person who is here to solve it. Shedding this old corporate skin, yeah, it's definitely uncomfortable. But the person emerging underneath is infinitely more future-proof than the heavy coat you're finally leaving behind. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep shedding that coat, and I will see you right back here in episode